Welcome everybody to Kerbal Space Program tutorial how to get into orbit. Now I've prepared this game for you. It's just off the start. I'm just gonna join into the rocket assembly building now, and I'm gonna start doing things. If you're not new to Kerbal Space Program, then there's not gonna be anything new for you in here. But let's get started. For those of you who haven't played Kerbal Space Program before or just starting out, I'll try to cover as many of the basics as I can. Now, the first thing you're gonna have to do is have a command pod. All ships need a command pod, whether it's unmanned or not is rather not that important. For those of you who haven't played Kerbal Space Program, but for everybody else, it's really important. Now, what the first thing we're going to do is get science. That's all what career mode is getting. Well, not all, but the major factor in career mode is getting science and advancing up the science tree, which we will take a look at in a short time. But I assume you've already taken a look at that and seen that there's only one item there to begin with. The first thing we have to do is take a command pod and actually just press launch, because, well, there's science in some unexpected places here in Kerbal. The first being simple, the launch pad. Now, all you need to do, and you're going to be doing this a lot, is right click, crew report. Hey! You record the crew's assessment of the situation. Well, the crew being this is Jebediah, the happiest Kerbal in existence. Now, the second thing you want to do, you'll also be doing this a lot, is EVA. Now, I have a mod that changes the suit to resemble the one from the movie Armageddon. I can see that the flag is bugged, so that was actually quite fun. now, the first thing and it also removes the helmet and gives some hair and such. The second thing we're going to do is take surface sample, keep data. Right, we're going to EVA report. I don't think spacesuit was entirely necessary to get here, was it? Keep data. You can plant the flag, but it's most likely getting destroyed anyway. Right, welcome to pod. Board. Right, and that was it. Now you want to go up here above the altimeter and do recover vessel. And there you have it. Congratulations, our first science. See, we got a whooping 12 science for that little experiment. Now, the second thing we're going to do now, we're going to see what items we have available from start. Now, the first thing we have here is this, the real shoot cone shoot. Now, that's from a mod that is named Real Shoots, which is a fantastic amount of parachutes that really helps in game. Now, I'm not gonna tell you to install one mod or another. I will say that I like this mod and therefore I use it. But the second thing is, with that command pod, we have the LVT-30 liquid engines, solid boosters, a fuel tank, some girder segment, an antenna, and a stock parachute. Now, let's unlock this one. It gives us a few other things, including a few items from a mod called KV Rocketry, which adds a lot of other fun stuff. It also gives us this, which is the second most important thing here, mystery goo container. We're going to use that for science. There is also this, which is one of the more important items in the game. Well, and this from KV Rocketry. It's a stack decoupler. It basically detaches whatever's below it from whatever's above it. Let's research that. Now we don't have more at the moment, but you'll see if we quickly start expanding on the science tree. We will, in the beginning, take these three, and then we will follow the science path along here. Now, if actually anyone looks at this and enjoys it, I will be making more tutorials, but for now this one will be to get to the moon. Now, we left off where we were with this ship. Oh yes, they actually call it a ship. Let's see. The first thing we're gonna add is, yeah, stack decoupler under here so we can detach that from everything else. We're gonna use a stock chute under utilities. We are going to add 2 goo canisters. We don't actually need. Let's put on a communitron. See what I almost did there? I almost did not use symmetry mode. I've forgotten to teach you guys about this. Down here you have a few buttons. This is symmetry mode. It simply places the number of items you select in addition to the one you're holding on other equal sides. The same thing with the goo canisters. I set it to symmetry 2, which, well, mirrors it on the other side. Watch that though, it can kill you. Well, not kill you, but ruin your mission. Because if you block this access hatch here, the Kerbal won't be getting out, and you'll missing out on EVAs, EVA reports, and surface samples, which is quite important to keep that clear. And that includes from struts or space trape, as we'll be covering later as we unlock it. Now, the first thing we're going to need after all this is a fuel tank and an engine. We now made a rocket. Nice and easy. Now, let's add another stage. Therefore, the word staging. Let's see. Let's set up our correct engines. Right. In which we are going to have 2 fuel tanks, 1 engine. Yeah. Now, I would use these guys, but let's wait for them. We need a few other things before we can start with that just yet. Now, the second thing I need to teach you about is this. Oh, this is your staging setup. When you start launching your rocket, you will be pressing space to activate the stages as they count down from 3 to 1, or from whatever number of stages you have to, in the end, 0 or close to 0, depending on your setup. It's not always wise to have, you might use in action groups up here. You can set up your own action groups. There are a few predefined, and there's a few custom ones that you can set up. Say if you want one really far in the, well, in the future when you're going to land on, say, Duna, you need parachutes to help you. Then you can. It's nice to have them set up on a button instead of having to use a stage on them. Makes things easier. Now, we're ready. We're going to launch our second rocket. Well, the first one wasn't. This is going to be our first one. Now, I didn't name it because it doesn't really matter since we only have one. Now, we have to talk about something which is quite important. The command module itself has a built-in system. You will also get other items that help this, but you have something called SAS. Now, what it stands for, I can't really say, but it has something to do with assisted steering. What basically is, it uses gyroscopes and similar objects to keep you going in the direction you want to be going, and helps you turn when you need to turn. Heavy ships need a lot of SAS. It's activated by pressing T. It's quite important to remember. Now we double check the staging. Everything's okay. We're not going to get blown up by anything on the way up, hopefully. We can begin by activating the first mystery goo container now. We see that we get 3 science if we recover it. It's not 100% recover rate. You can later with an item increase this. Let's start with this now. Keep data. Right, we've already done the EVA and the surface sample and the crew report, so no need for that. We need to hold shift to see that your throttle goes up. Now, this is going to be a straight up trip and nothing more, even though this is over engineered for that aspect. Now, as we're going up, the first thing we're going to do is go to crew report and transmit it. Since these engines generate electricity, there's no need for solar panels and such. We haven't unlocked that either, so yeah. Oh, there we go. Science unlocked. Now, you just gotta wait up 2,000 meters, 40 meters per second. Look, Jebediah is happy. Like I said, the happiest Kerbal in the world of Kerbal. Ooh, the mountains, the ocean, and yes, for those of you observant, there is a curiosity over there. See, 6,000 meters. This should be good for another crew report. Nope, not bad. It's good for another mystery goo. 7 jiggle as a while flying at Kerbal. Which is this one then? Read canister. Well, let's do this one then. So mystery goo. Now, yes, I know we've run out of staging. Yes, and we're continuing going up and away. Crew report. Nope. Okay. Let's check our map with M. We'll see something. Blue line with the ship. This is your apoapsis, the top of your orbit. Now, of course, the bottom is somewhere deep inside Kerbins. Now, don't worry. I know a lot of people watching are gonna get a heart attack. Oh, you need to do a gravity turn. We'll cover that later. Easy does it. Easy does it. We're now in space. Report. Let's transmit that one. Let's dump this one. See, all that's left is this little command pod and a parachute, which we will deploy when we're getting closer to down. Let's see. Oh, nice music. Do a quick EVA with Jebediah, risk his Kerbal life. Have some more science and do a loop-de-loop. See, now here's the difference. That's with SAS. And without SAS, it basically doesn't stop. It continues to spin, as according with Newton's law of physics and all that. You know, upside down. Now, I bet if we did that with a real astronaut, he would be puking his guts out. But yes. Now, we're not gonna, wait till we get up to all 241,000 kilometers. We are going to speed up. Now, I pressed X to kill the throttle. There's a button for kill throttle, there's just no button for 100%. Now, but I'm not throttled up. Okay. Now, we are at the apoapsis. Let's see if we have more to. Oh, we have more. Crew report in space now. Do we have more? Oh yeah, more. Just over Kerbin's grasslands. Right, now we got a lot of science from this. Let's see. We got have some electric charge. Now I'm gonna speed up till we hit atmosphere, and we'll deploy our parachutes. See, atmosphere. Yes, physics warp. There's one thing I want to discuss. I know this is a lot of information crammed into one, or not enough crammed into one thing. But you have time warp and you have physics warp. Physics warps is when you're affected by the gravity field of a planet or a moon or similar. Re-entry heats. I do not have any mods for re-entry damage or anything like that. Yes, but physics warps amplifies the physics of the game while you're warping. So if you're at 4x physics warp, when you land on the ground, you're most likely gonna blow up, and your ship's gonna bend in weird ways and end up exploding. And time warp is when you're, well, in space or just in orbit outside any atmospheres or such. Yeah. Ooh, my shadow. Now, yeah, so be careful with that, or the Kraken will come and visit you and destroy your stuff. You can physics warp until you're just about to touch ground. Now, there's one thing I need to cover as well. There's a lot of stuff, yes. This up here is not true altitude. It's not exactly the altitude to you. It's the average altitude. Average sea level altitude. Yes. Okay, let's do another crew report. No, can't. Okay. EVA. We're going to take surface sample, keep data. EVA report. I'm going to grab and board and up here again and recover vessel. If anyone have at any time any questions, please don't hesitate to post comments or anything like that. Oh, see, a whooping 65 science. That's going to take us far. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to ask, and I'll answer as well as I can. Let's see, survivability, more parachutes, a small engine that is fantastic in space. It's really efficient in space to begin with. Landing struts. These are basically toothpicks. Well, not toothpicks, but yeah, 2x4s that you used to land with. They're not durable, but they're okay. More parachutes. Okay, we're gonna unlock this. We're gonna unlock more engines, 2 of them from KV Rocketry, one rather good one, and one for space and one for liftoff. And we also have Separatons and a solid booster. Separatron 1 is used to push objects away from the ship when separating. So solid boosters, you want to push them away from the ship so they don't flip in and hit your engines or anything. This costs us 20. That means we have 18 left for this one. This would need aerodynamic nose cone, we get winglets, and we get radial decouplers, which are a lifesaver. Next we'll be going for science tech, but off to new things and new possibilities. So we will basically continue on this one. However, I did notice that we were coming in a bit fast, but let's just risk it. Let's risk it. Can you put it on here without blocking? Now, there's one thing about these things. If you look at the arrow is the direction things are being pushed. So the arrow is going to push the command pod away and stay on the tank. So if we flip it, it's going to push the tank away but stay on the command pod. In this case, giving us the tiny bit of extra room we need to put on some landing gears, just to make the landing slightly more safe. I am going to put a parachute on, extra parachute on, just in case. It's gonna tilt us a bit in a weird way, but it's nothing we won't survive. Now we're going to use some radial decouplers, 4 of them, and let's see, are we going to use these? They have, if you look at where it says engine here, we have thrust, 315 thrust. That's just the raw engine power. Now engine impulse, or yes, I think it's impulse, in the atmosphere specific surface level, they give 230 impulse. In vacuum they give 250, which means they're not really all that effective. These things are raw power for, it doesn't say how long, but enough to push our craft up to about 150 meters per second, which is nice. Now these guys, they're a bit weaker, but they're plenty good enough. They have something called gimbal, however, and that's the engine, that's the we're gonna have a look at it. That means, gimbal simply means that this thing, the exhaust vent, or where all the flames come out, can move so that you have extra steering for well, simple things. Now we are going to exchange this engine for this engine, which simply has more efficiency. It has a higher impulse but has little thrust. Considering this top part isn't all that heavy, it really isn't. Let's see, a craft is total of 16 tons. 4 of it being, yeah, 4.436 tons is this little bit. That little engine is perfect. I believe if you're as good as Mr. Scott Manley, if you've watched any of his movies, I think he should be able to get to the moon and back with this. Possibly, not 100% sure. We're just aiming for orbit. We're aiming for orbit. Not that good. Not even close. Let's see. Let's fire these first, then let's ditch them, and then let's fire this one and fire this one and fire parachutes. Perfect, perfect. Now, this is going to be, what should we call it? Kerbal launcher 1. Mark 1, a first try at a orbit. Right, let's update that as it goes. So let's save it, which is really important if you do changes. However, there's a nice feature here. There is, if I look this, there is Control Z, which fixes it. Thank you, developers, for that one. It has saved me many mistakes on many big ships. Well, let's see, is there anything else we can put on here to oh yes, winglets. Oh, I almost forgot. There is this button here, which I neglected to talk about, and of course this one, angle snap. Angle snap basically makes things snap onto the ship at an angle. If you take it off, you can place it wherever you want. But angle snap makes it snap to set degrees. Center of mass shows the center of mass of your ship, of course. Center of lift, as you see down here, shows the point of the center of the lift. Now, for a rocket, not for a space plane, but for a rocket, as far as I've understood, you want center of lift exactly in the middle of center of mass, so that you have a pivot point, as it helps you pivot and therefore steer the rocket. When with the addition of gimbal and such, it's perfect. Now, the third one is center of thrust. You want that one to be going directly in the middle of your center of mass and center of lift. If it's off, your ship's gonna tilt, no matter what you do. Unless, of course, center of mass and center of lift is tilted to compensate for this. However, then your rocket won't fly straight. So, are we ready for this? Is there anything else I've forgotten? Landing gear, struts. Oh yes, the sub-assembly zone. Now, we could take this right away. It's quite easy. Now let's say I want to save this part of the rocket. I put it in here, where it says sub-assembly drops up. I rename it Primal on see early booster stage. See, can name it what I want. Save. Now, whenever I start a new rocket and have a command module placed, I can just go up here, click it, and boom, it's there. It saves all the parts in the exact same configuration as you wanted it. I'm not 100% sure if it saves the action groups. Now, let's talk about one thing. There's also one thing else that may be of use if you want to try and save your Kerbals, and that is you can set up abort. Meaning that when you press the abort button, which is I'm going to show you when you come up when we come out, we're going to decouple that, and we're going to deploy that chute, and we're going to deploy this one. I've never done it before because I've said screw it, you have a nice little button that says revert flight. But if you're playing a bit more realistic style that I know some people do at some points, you might want to have that button. Now, let's save. Oh yeah, the third button up here is if you want to change crew members. Say if you don't want the crew that this is a rescue mission to the moon because you stranded a Kerbal up there because of your own idiocracy, or you ran out of fuel or whatever, you can remove him and say, hey, nobody's flying. I'm not sure 100% if the rocket then needs a probe module, or if the command module counts as a probe body when there's no one in. I'm not 100% sure about it. You can also see here the stats of the difference, right? So instead of high intelligence, they have low stupidity and courage and such. Jebediah is a mix of both, and Bill's just plain stupid, and Bob's super intelligent, just not very brave. You might realize the foolishness of all this. But of course, Jebediah is going to be the one who does the craziness for us. Let's see, we've been streaming for an hour though, so this ended up a bit more than I expected. But looks like it. Now, throttle up, and we are ready for launch. Now, before we go on, we're going to do something called a gravity turn. At 10,000 meters, 13 with a big ship and so on, or 15 if you keep forgetting it. We're going to do something called a gravity assisted turn. It basically means that we're going to take advantage of the natural rotation of Kerbin, or Earth, or whatever, in this case Kerbal. Because Kerbal rotates at a natural 174.6 meters per second, which when we turn here on to this being the nav ball, which I've neglected to talk about, we're going to turn at 10,000 to have what we're going to show as the retrograde marker, which is similar to the little green thing you see here, which is the direction we're going. This thing here in the middle is the direction we're facing. And what you're seeing partly there is a retrograde, which is the opposite of where we're going. There's a few other. There's a node, which is basically where the maneuver node is, where we will be setting up if we can get into orbit. And there's also target, if we've set a target when we get up there. I'll show you all of you. Blast off. I realized that I should maybe show you guys a little afterwards a normal booster setup, and not think these are KV rocketry, aren't they? Yes. Okay, we're going way too fast already. I mean, these things are just... Why is it turning? Shouldn't be. And it's going that direction. That's because of we're at orbit view. You can go to surface, which is where we're going in relation to the surface, you know, reference frames and all that. Let's keep it at orbit. Let's see, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. Let's start at 90 degrees, which means you have to go to about 65 grades on the 90 marker. I don't know how to describe that in English, as it's not my first language, or second for that matter. But I am, for some reason, struggling to keep this rocket going straight. I believe it's 75,000, if possible. Okay, let's just go there. 60. I think we might need to put another stage on it. Actually, I'm pretty sure we need to. No, sorry. Let's go for 80. Let's go for 80. Okay, we're at 81,000. Now, let's set up. When doing this, there's a trick to it. Because when these guys line up side by side like this, it means that they're at the approximate equal height there and there. See, 83 and 80, right? That means we got up all this new stuff and this new marker, which is node marker, which is where we have to burn to make our target. Now we're screwed. We need 1686 delta V, it's called. It's for those who know your math, which well, I don't. It's your potential change in direction. Yes, measured in meters per second. And here is where the impulse and stuff is. See, the specific impulse of this is 390. That's why it's so efficient. So we might actually make this. See, I don't have the information I really need, but yes, like time to process. Said thrust of 50 kilonewtons, fuel flow is 0.01306 U. Status nominal. You can limit the thrust if you want, if you really want. You can even lock gimbal and shut down engine and such nice. But when this reaches 0, which is approximately in 50 seconds, I think we have enough fuel for that. Getting home is going to be a bit tricky though. And the node has passed by 15 seconds, which means we're going down. Yes, we're going down. But by the looks of it, we're gonna make it. Do we have a crew report? No. We can do this. There is one really important thing to note about this engine, and that is that it does not produce electricity. It uses electricity, but it does not produce it. Well, which can be catastrophic. Just ask well, anyone who's played Kerbal Space Program and gotten to the moon and realized they forgot a solar panel, which is the great thing. Oh, when your camera tilts like this, we have reached orbit. Our tutorial has come to a final stage. We actually reached orbit, guys. Now we have just enough fuel to get home, I believe. If not, Jebediah will have to go out and push, which is not possible. We'll have to mount a rescue mission. Now, this is all it. We're going to do a crew report, which is not worthy. We're going to do EVA report. Now you can go EVA report and over every single biome here if you want to, but I'd recommend having a solar panel and just sending the stuff back then. Okay, keep that. Now we are going to go back down again. I do this every time and I always fail equally horrible, and that is I aim for the space center and I end up failing. Now let's speed up. Time warp. There are restrictions for time warp on the altitude above the planet, so you can only warp at 50x while below 120. On the wiki page they have a little cheat sheet that tells you exactly how at what altitudes you have to do what. Oh, can do what. Let's see, 50 seconds. Now, please, if you like this, leave a comment. If you hated it, want to call it a piece of shit, then please leave a comment. Any comments are, well, good info. Please don't leave hate stuff. Just good criticism. All criticism is good criticism. All comments will be accepted. And we're going in for landing. Remove the node and get ready to watch the fireworks. 1 hour and 13 minutes. If I'd be smart, I'd split this up, but yeah, that's how long it takes to get into orbit once you play the game well. Now, we don't really need this one, but the last stage here, but we're gonna make some fireworks as a celebration for this. Not that it really works, but you know, just for fun. Wait till we hit the atmosphere, which is gonna be 69,000, yes. Point it retrograde. That's where we're, and prograde is the direction we're going. Retrograde is the exact opposite of that. Yeah, it looks like we'll have a watery splashdown. Oh, okay, yes. We can do this. I'm just gonna wait till the atmosphere get us and re-entry flames and all that, and I'm gonna ditch it to make a nice rocket, unless it backfires and hits us in the face, which would be sad for Jebediah here. Sorry. No, the amount of fuel in the tank does not matter, only its weight. So we're approaching the layer of the atmosphere you see up here. This line here is vacuum, and above and beyond this layer on thickness of the atmosphere, roughly. Yes, on Duna, for example, it won't matter. Let's go. Oh, it has more speed than us. Oh, it's gonna hit us. No, it's not. Ha, it's passing us by. This is a race, guys. Awesome. No fireworks, no explosions. Just fun. Oh, yeah. That wasn't the smartest thing I've done. Could have waited. Oh! Whew. That was a close one, guys. Flows by. Let's see, where is it ending? Oh, it's crashing just about the same places. Well, a bit past us. Yeah, fun. Well, we're landing in the mountains, the highlands, I think. Let's put landing gears out. And this is... Oh, we got a nice view. We got Minmus up there. The planet Minmus. That's a fine planet. Many good memories. Many good and horrible landings. Now, we're going to have to set up. Yeah, I don't want to land that hard. Like I said, watch the altitudes. Watch the altitudes. This can lie with up to 3,000 meters in some cases. So let's just get Jebediah home here and see how much science we get, and then I'll stop this. Like I said, please leave a like, leave a comment, please. Oh, that was a bit early, I suspect, but okay. Oh, we have the moon. The beautiful, beautiful moon. Let's go a bit faster to see where we take us. I think this is set in for 750 meters. Yes, real shoots is, like I said, oh no, 2,000 meters. Is a nice mod for saving your aircrafts and rockets. Okay, we have, according to this, 750, but I can't see my shadow, so I can't determine the... See, where's the sun? The sun is there, so shadow should be... Oh, there it is. Oh, and we're breaking down. Come on, we need to be right here. We don't have enough electric power for that. Come on. Oh, and we're out of electric power. Oop. No electric power, no torque, no nothing. Yeah, report, keep science. Oh, crawling down to the ground. Had a bit too much to drink in there. Someone must have smuggled some alcohol aboard there. He's crawling out on all four. Come on. Oh. Yeah. Someone spiked his drinks. Right. Now, let's recover the vessel. Sorry. And let's see what we get. 50 science. Oh my god. That's pretty nice, actually. Right. Now, that was it for this tutorial. Hope you liked it. Leave a comment if you want me to make it into a let's play. Yes, and then add in more tutorials as I play. Please, if you want me to try out any mods and so, please let me know. But yes, thank you for watching. See you all later.